The movie came to me, the script came to me about 4.5 years ago, and through my head of production, Brian Gilbert, who's one of the executive producers on this movie. And I had told him, I said, look, Brian, if you can, find me a good werewolf movie, because that's what I'd like to do. I'm a huge werewolf fan. That's probably my favorite creature, character, beast. It's the one that turned me on the most when I was a little kid. I loved, Lon Chaney Jr.'s Wolfman, and Henry Hull as the Werewolf of London, and right on through to Michael Landon as I was a teenage werewolf, and then really two really wonderfully classic movies like American Werewolf in London, which Rick Baker did, John Landis, really, really good, groundbreaking movie, and a really scary werewolf movie that Joe Dante did with Howling. And hadn't seen a werewolf movie the way I wanted to see it since then. And I had a specific thing that I wanted to see. It was that thing that turned me on when I was a kid. A thing that I actually wanted to come to California and do, which was to act. Mm-hmm. It was the performance of these wonderful actors that I remembered who were dealing with the beast within. The performance of Spencer Tracy as the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The wonderful performances of Henry Hall, as I said, Lon Chaney. What I remember is them, the characters. And then when they turned into a werewolf, I still saw their character. They weren't suddenly replaced by a digitally animated character. And I have this is no kick on nothing, no knocking of digital. I love the tool. I love the effects. I love digital animation. I love animated films. I have my own digital department, SW Digital. I founded one of the biggest digital companies in LA with Jim Cameron and Scott Ross, Digital Domain. But my real love is the actor, is the character, is the performance. So recently, the werewolves that I've seen recently have replaced the actor, and they've ended up being basically digitally animated characters. Nothing against that, but they're no longer the human beings that created this part of the character. They're actor from here to here, and replaced actor with animator from here to here, and we have a new, nothing wrong with it, but it's not that visceral reality that I know is coming from the performance of a good actor. That's what I wanted to bring back.
Do these werewolves have nards?
Yeah, they have big nards. The design of the Werewolf and Monster Squad is actually a drawing that I did of me, but it had a lot of the feeling of what I wanted to do and what we have done now brilliantly with Skinwalkers, but there was no performance, there was no animation of the face. There was the look that I got with in the final look of the werewolf in Monster Squad, but there was no facial performance because it was basically a mask. That did it because we didn't have the technology we have today. We couldn't do certain things that I wanted to do artistically with that werewolf and still be a person in a makeup. Well, now with makeup effects and digital effects, I could create the look, that kind of look, and still have all of the performance from the actor. Iron Man is about a man in a suit. And so you have Robert Downey Jr. giving you a performance, and it's still Robert Downey Jr. There's a man in a suit, but once you've closed him off, it's physical performance. It's entirely different. And listen, Robert Downey Jr., I am probably his hugest fan. And I would say the work we've done in Iron Man is the best work that's come out of our studio in years. Skinwalkers is about werewolves and skinwalkers. And that's something that I have always wanted to bring Stan Winston to. Iron Man, the job was to bring something alive that was iconic and be legitimate to that character. And we nailed it. Iron Man, the Iron Man suit is the comic book brought to life, and it's perfect and it's brilliant, and I'm so proud of what the guys did. but that wasn't our design. That was us taking a design and bringing it to life in 3D and allowing the actor to bring everything else to it. Werewolves, Skinwalkers is about an actor and seeing that person's performance come through that makeup, come through it, add whatever we wanted to digitally, and not take any of the performance away from the actor. So you see every nuance of expression, every nuance, every bit of feeling that is coming from these Skinwalkers is coming from the actor. We added nothing digitally to their performance. We did add physical things digitally. We did add things with makeup physically, but it was all dressing for the actor's performance. And that's what I think is wonderful about what we brought to Skinwalkers. What's truly wonderful about Skinwalkers for me is it's just a really nice script. It's a good story. It is not a big effects extravaganza. It is not Underworld. If you want to see Underworld, do not go to see this movie, because it's not anything about Underworld. It's about people in a small town people with a big problem. They have a lot of conflict. They have internal conflict. They have love. They have mothers and kids and grandmas and it's Andy Griffith and it's Mayberry. We're werewolves.